Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Now today, let's ask the question, will people ever get in the habit of spending money on apps? Alright, so today I want to answer a question that came in last week from Shashank Shukla. I hope I pronounced it right. He said, "Hi Eric, is it possible that people in the future will develop the habit of purchasing apps rather than relying on the free apps? Will that mindset go? In a current scenario, it feels like a person is willing to spend $10 on a silly snack bar, but isn't really conditioned to spend $1 on a worthy app. If possible, please make a video on what you think." Alright, here's what I think. It's very much possible. I can remember in the web when everybody thought e-commerce was going to be the next big thing, and then everyone started saying e-commerce failed, right? People weren't really willing to spend money back then. I know I wasn't. I can remember when I would not spend a single, I wouldn't spend a single dollar online, right, back in the early 2000s, right, mainly because I was a web developer. And I can remember working at a place and they saying, "Don't you think it's strange that our web developer won't buy things online?" And I thought, because I knew how easy it was to mess up, and I wasn't really sure of the security of it all, right? And so, but over time, people obviously got used to the idea of buying things online, so they started making these kind of purchases, which is fantastic. Now we have a big thriving economy, and now Amazon is killing the competition because they hung in there through all of that kind of stuff, right? So I do think it's possible. In fact, I would hope so. And in fact, one of the things that might be a benefit from all this stuff about, you know, the stuff last month with Zuckerberg in front of Congress, all the stuff with, Analytica, Cambridge Analytica, all the stuff where we start thinking about our privacy, is that people might start to understand that, yeah, you know what, if we pay a little bit, we'll get something back in return. So, and I think it's a lot on a person-by-person basis. Like back in the early 2000s, the other thing was, I wasn't being paid enough to even think about this kind of stuff. Like it was like, oh, you know, if there's a free option, might as well go with the free option, even though it's covered in ads, and you know, I wasn't sure about the security of it. But you know, and now I'm at the point where a lot of the times I'll upgrade just because support the developer. You know, despite the fact that I'm a developer, I've never done that as a reason. For me, it's always like, I do want to get rid of the ads, or I want to make sure that I have the best experience and make sure that, you know, that my data is not being used a certain way, or they're not going to spring another charge on me later on, or it's going to go from a free service to a paid service, and then I'm going to have to move everything over. So a lot of times I will pay for services online, but back then I wouldn't, and it was because, first of all, most people weren't buying stuff online. There was too much choice, and also because it's just financially in my own life. So there are going to be people who will make these kind of purchases, and you know, there are people out there making money through apps all the time. Every single app we release a free version and a paid version. Although, like I said, last month or a few weeks ago, we removed all the free versions from Apple, and actually the revenue has gone up. I need to show you guys that. It's not a lot, but it's gone up like maybe, I think it's probably doubled actually. So it's gone like from 20 pounds a day to like 40 pounds a day. So it's not that big deal. But you know, when you talk about the low numbers, but if I was making more, it probably would have. Right. So there are people out there willing to make a purchase, especially someone who's concerned about their security. In fact, maybe you could even, you know, capitalize on that a little bit if you say, you know, in order to protect your security, we don't have a free version of this app, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, I think it will. If I go to a, you know, and you're starting to see this with news outlets too, you know, people are paying more for news. They're starting to see all the junk that's out there. And think about it, when you're learning a new computer language, a lot of times I will buy a course on Udemy, or I will buy a book, and it's the information's out there all over on the web, but it's easier for me just to get into the one place, even though it's free to go out there and search everywhere else. So I think my point of view is, yeah, I do think eventually people are going to get used to the idea of buying stuff on the web. I think on Android you're definitely starting to see it more often. People are starting to make those kind of purchases, right? It's not just the phone for the people who don't have enough money to get an iPhone. Now as people go to Android out of choice because they're seeing how bad, well, the iPhone is actually a really good platform, but they're just getting tired of it, and they're going to something that's, you know, a bit cheaper, and the people are bringing their money with them, and they're making these purchases on Google Play. I mean, I've definitely seen an increase. So that's just my opinion. I could be completely wrong. Everyone else, let me know what you think. Let Shashank know what you think too, because if you think it's going to dry up, if you think we're on the final stages of appdom, you know, then yeah, that's one way of looking at it. The other way is thinking we're just getting started. The same way in the web, where everyone thought everything was dead in 2002, and then we were just getting started. It was a platform and not a gimmick like everyone was treating it as. So anyway, those are my thoughts for today. Thanks very much, Shashank, for your question. That's it for today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.